We are back with some more Legacy franchise, and we are basically wrapped up with our free agency period. This is going to be a decently sized video with a lot of information. First thing I'm going to be going over is all of the trades that have went down throughout the league. They're all scattered throughout my Discord notifications, so it's going to be a little weird reading them off. I'm going to try to keep you guys updated on everything. So we'll just hop straight into it. Bear with me. It's going to be a little bit here. First trade of the season was the Broncos traded their first round pick, their second round pick, and a future second round pick to get the Saints first round pick, which is the third overall pick. So the Broncos go all in, trade a bunch of picks, move up in the draft to get the third pick. The next trade was the Patriots ended up trading for, is this Khalil? No, it's Danielle Hunter. And the Vikings got a first-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fifth-round pick. So Danielle Hunter out the door to the Patriots. Next trade, I wish these were a little organized, but they just, they come in when they come in. So it is what it is. Next trade was O.J. Howard and Scotty Miller went to the Colts, and the Colts sent the Buccaneers Michael Pittman, which is interesting. There were some picks involved in that trade as well. I don't know why you get rid of Michael Pittman, though. I mean, Michael Pittman is pretty dialed, if you ask me. But hey, that's not me. I didn't make any trades, by the way. We'll talk about my offseason plan, but I didn't make any trades. So for now, we're just going to try to keep up everything else. The Bucks also traded for a left tackle, Taylor Lewan, and I believe the Titans got a couple draft picks for that. Micah Kendricks went to the Giants for a first-round pick. They also got, the Vikings also got, they traded their center, I think, as well with that Michael Kendricks picks, and there was a bunch of picks involved. But Kendricks to the Giants, and their center, Vikings center, also to the Giants. OBJ went to the Las Vegas Raiders, which kind of fits OBJ's personality. I think that's kind of a cheeky little move. Big trade here. Khalil Mack is no longer a Chicago Bear. He went to the New York Jets, and the Jets traded a bunch of picks for him. So no Khalil Mack on the Bears. There were some big names that were moved around. One that really does suck that we'll get into later. Julio Jones was traded to the Cleveland Browns. So OBJ left the Browns, and now Julio is on the Browns, and I believe the Titans got some picks for the Julio trade there. Adam Thielen also was sent to the Browns. So Adam Thielen now a member of the Browns, and I believe the Vikings got some linemen for that one. Another pass rusher was sent for Arizona. So Arizona lost their starting center. What's his name? Rodney Hudson, I believe. And they ended up getting a pass rusher for that one. The way these trades are put in, it's really hard to read them off. There's little articles, so I'm just trying to look. Without clicking in the article, I'm just trying to skim over the little section that I can see, just to update you, because it would take forever if I clicked in and got the exact, the exact trade. Tua was sent to the Las Vegas Raiders in a deal for Derek Carr, I believe, and defensive end Farrell, I forget his first name, but Tua now a Las Vegas Raider. What just happened here? Okay, there we go. The Cowboys also traded, I believe they traded, DeMarcus Lawrence to the Colts for a third round pick. So the Colts get a, aging player, but a good help there on the defensive side. Kenny Moore going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Kenny Moore leaving the Colts. Mr. Tyron Smith is going to the Cardinals, so now we have to face that man twice a season, which is a little unfortunate. Amari Cooper also traded. He went to Jacksonville. Jacksonville sent him Chase on and some picks, so Jacksonville getting their wide receiver one. Hayden Hurst and the Giants traded for Hayden Hurst, and they traded some picks for that, so the Giants acquiring another tight end. Maybe it's because Evan Ingram's leaving. Maybe he wants 2 tight end sets. Who knows? Chandler Jones out the door from Arizona. He's going to be a Jet, so the Jets have Chandler Jones and Khalil Mack, which is insane. Absolutely insane there. Von Bell, it was traded for a center, so just to, back up. I got a safety and a center, just traded. That's kind of a weird trade there, but hey, that is what it is. A young quarterback was sent to the Falcons, and I believe that's maybe his quarterback for the future. Maybe he's not feeling Matt Ryan anymore. I don't even know who this quarterback is. His last name is Frank, so I don't know who this guy is, to be honest, but well, I guess we'll have to see. Fletcher Cox is leaving Philadelphia and becoming a Buffalo Bill, so the Bills have a beast at the defensive tackle spot. Here is a very unfortunate one. The Baltimore Ravens, who have just won the Super Bowl, have acquired Aaron Donald. The Rams gave up, or the trade gave the Rams a bunch of picks. It was like 3 first-round picks or something, something else. So it's not like there wasn't a lot of value that he got. I mean, he got a lot of value, but it just sucks that one of the best players, if not the best, player in our league now has acquired Aaron Donald. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. But it is what it is. That's just what happens, People make big-time trades. Quentin Nelson is no longer a Colt, and he is on the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Colts getting rid of a big-time offensive weapon there. I mean, I guess you could call him a weapon because he's just an absolute monster. So you could call him a weapon, but he's no longer there anymore. We're almost done, guys. DJ Moore traded to the Eagles for Jalen Reagor and some picks. So DJ Moore no longer on the Carolina Panthers, which is interesting. He's trying to trade a lot of his receivers. I think he even has Robbie on the block. So he's going for a quick little rebuild, I would assume. And that is that for the trades. I believe that is all of them that have been happened so far. If any more happen, I will update you guys as we go. But next thing I wanted to show you guys is the Pro Bowl. So I believe we had 4 Pro Bowl members, if I can remember correctly. 3 or 4. Hold on, I'm scrolling all the way up there. So for offense, we had 2 people on offense. We had 2 backups. So the backup quarterback, the main starter quarterback was Sam Darnold. Obviously, dude was slinging it like crazy. But backup quarterback Russell Wilson made the Pro Bowl there. And for backup running back Chris Carson made the Pro Bowl. I guess DK, I didn't see that, but DK made it as the second wide receiver. Chris Godwin being the only receiver ahead of him. So we actually had 3 Pro Bowlers on the offensive side of the ball. And the defensive side of the ball, I think we had 2, I believe. Carlos Dunlap, which was a very, very interesting one that I did not expect him to be there at all. I didn't think I thought maybe he had an okay season. But I guess good for Carlos Dunlap that he's up there. He made it to the Pro Bowl. He was actually one that got a dev bump as well. Jamal Adams made it as a backup strong safety right behind Adrian Amos, and that was it for. So we actually had 5 players that made the Pro Bowl, which is pretty good. No one won any awards for us. Actually, no, I lied. Carlos Dunlap won Best Edge Rusher, so Carlos Dunlap had a pretty solid season if he's out here winning all these awards. But you'll see what we had to do throughout the offseason. Spoiler, Carlos Dunlap is no longer on our team. We had to cut him. I freed up, I think, it was $5 or $6 million in cap, and I only took a penalty of 1, and I needed some cap, so it had to happen. Carlos Dunlap not there, and that is that for the Pro Bowl. I think we had 2 or 3 players bump up in dev. Offensive side of the ball, we had only 1, which was Chris Carson. He went to Superstar, which is great. You love to see that. But his abilities might be one of the worst abilities I've ever seen in mankind. I mean, this is just such an L, man. I was excited to get on, see what his abilities were. He has return man. The man's never going to be returning a kick or a punt for us. Never, ever, ever. And we have Energizer, which is like, it's okay. I mean, that's nothing crazy. It's I don't know. It definitely could have much better abilities than those 2. So that one sucks there for Chris Carson. On the defensive side of the ball, we did have 2 players jump up in dev. First one was Trey Flowers, but he's not in the squad anymore. So Trey Flowers, we never re-signed him. And next one being Sidney Jones. He is now at star development. We also had Carlos Dunlap go to star development, but we ended up cutting him, so he is not here. So Sidney now at star. And the offense, we have Chris Carson at Superstar. You probably saw some free agent pickups there with looking at the squad. But I wanted to run through what the plan was. So let's go ahead and show you guys the transactions, which is here. should pop up the Seahawks. We can show you guys, walk you through everything that we did here. So what is this? Oh yeah, I totally spaced. I forgot to tell you guys this. So my second updated player for, like, you know how you can do the match player ratings, I chose to do it on Dwayne Brown. We did re-sign him. I have no plans on re-signing Dwayne Brown after this season. You know, this is his last year. Just ride it out. So he dropped, I think, to a 77 or a 78 overall, and I bumped him back up. I think he's an 81 now. So back in the 80s, we had no one really else to use it on. We had to use it before free agency, so I chose Dwayne Brown to bump him back up. Here's the guys that got the star, as you can see. All those dudes. And then I guess before we go into, can I show who I cut? Release? There we go. Yeah, so we only released 2 players. Benson Mayo was a $3 million in free up my cap space. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. And Carlos Dunlap, like I said, was like $5 or $6 million. He had a good season. He only has 1 year left on his deal anyways. I wasn't planning on re-signing him. And I'm going to play some of the young guys this season. I mean, he did okay. Darrell Taylor's still going to be starting on one side. I'm not too sure. Maybe I draft a defensive end, or Alton Robinson, LJ Collier, Rasheem Green, one of those guys, maybe a rotation. We'll all start on the other side. So those are the 2 that we cut to give cap. We have technically $22 million in cap right now, so you're probably like, why aren't you, or 23, you're probably like, why aren't you spending that? Apparently, I don't know if it's going to be like this every offseason or if it's just this one for whatever reason. They don't have the reserved money for the rookies, so I have to have enough money to pay all my rookies, or else I'll be over the cap. And so I have, I think, 5 or 6 picks this draft, and that all of those will add up to, I think it was $21 million. So I only could spend like $1 million or $2 million right now. So after we get all the rookies signed into their deals, we'll see what our money situation is, and we'll go from there and all that. But going into the offseason, I had enough money to go decently heavy on, you know, a single player. There was some pretty good players at this free agency period. I will say that. There was some very good players, and I thought the biggest point of emphasis for me, if you saw that last playoff game, was the defense. So first silent bid day, I went after Jadeveon Clowney. He wanted a 2-year deal. I can't remember off the top of my head how much the money was, but it was 2 years. He's an 86 overall, I think, star. And he's getting up there in age, you know. But 2 years I thought was fine. We could have him. He can help us, you know, bridge that gap, and then maybe in a couple years find his replacement. I thought that'd be great. We had 2 other people came in a bid with me. It was the Ravens and another team I can't remember. I had the strongest bid. I had the most guaranteed money, and so my chances of winning the bid were slightly higher. But unfortunately, I mean, you could just guess right now where he went. He went to the Ravens. So the Ravens not only traded for Aaron Donald, he also has Jadeveon Clowney on his team, which that one stung a little bit seeing that happen. So we went into silent bid day 2, and I was like, well, I gotta work on the defense. And I was looking around, and we went after defensive tackle Jaron Reed. He only wanted 1 year. We lost Geno. Al Wood's also gone as well, I believe. I'm pretty sure he's gone. I probably should check that, but I believe I let Al Woods go as well. So we really needed a defensive tackle, and Jaron Reed's been here before. He knows what we're all about. You know, he knows how to play in the system. So we went after him for, I think it was a $9 million deal. I'll show you. Well, I guess we can go. I guess I'll spoil some stuff here. You guys are going to see some other players. But Jaron Reed, 1 year, $9.95 million was the money. Decent amount of money, if you ask me. But it's only 1 year. It doesn't matter too much. We could get him. Lock him in as a starter this season. Maybe if he wants another 1 year contract, maybe I resign him for another year if he balls out. Who knows? But we needed someone. We couldn't have Puna and some bum out there. Just that couldn't have happened. So we had to figure that one out. I'm glad we won him. I think it was me and the Steelers. I want to say it was the Steelers. Maybe it was the Colts. I can't remember. But there was another team that bid on him as well. We had the slightly stronger offer, that just barely, and we won that bid. So happy we won that. And the rest just went into some backups and solidifying, you know, some positions. I got some, you know, offensive line help. First one being quarterback Jake from State Farm, our backup quarterback. Remember, we let Geno walk. I was just looking. I was like, maybe there's a young guy, you know, I could put behind Russell. Maybe he develops. Maybe if Russell gets too old in like season 5, maybe this dude can come in. I don't know. I didn't really want an aging quarterback that's going to keep getting trash. And Jake Fromm, he was drafted, I think, in the middle rounds, so, and he didn't want that much. So 2 years, $3.92 million. He is our backup quarterback. With Posick leaving, we needed a new center. 1 year contract again. Probably won't. I'm definitely not re-signing him. It's just we're bridging that gap with the offensive line. We're not going to sign. I might draft like a lineman late, but we're not going to choose any. I have 1 second, a third, and 2 fourth-round picks, I believe. And I don't think any of those will be on offensive linemen. We went in free agency, signed some guys to 1 year deals. We got Dwayne Brown back on a 1 year deal. We got another right tackle who's decently old on a 1 year deal. So we got some vets out here to play offensive line for us, and then next season we'll try to start the rebuild of it. But we just needed 1 year deals, get us through this season. So Ben Jones, our new center, 1 year, $9.55 million. He was only asking for, I want to say, like $6 or $7 million, but the goddamn Cardinals were running me up, and he told me afterwards he only did this to make me pay more because he backed out last second when we advanced, and so the man was just bumping my price up to fuck with me. So 9.55, but I needed a center big time because Posick left, so we were gonna have a shitty center. If that was not the case, I'll go over these guys' stats and their player cards once we get through talking about it. And then Thaddeus Moss. I was very happy to get Thaddeus Moss at tight end. Gerald Everett is gone. Thaddeus Moss, 2 years, $3.54 million. I was open to maybe my third or fourth round pick drafting a tight end because, let's be honest, tight ends are pretty easy to develop because they're already pretty goddamn good, and if they have some speed, they can be really good, and they're really easy to dev up. And so I was like, well, maybe I can draft one late. And I saw Thaddeus Moss there. He's basically like if I drafted a tight end late, what he would be. He's 24, and he's a 60. I want to say he's a 65 overall at 24, and he's got some decent stats to work with, decent catching, speed. I mean, he's probably going to be my starting tight end with Will Dissly behind him as the blocking tight end. When we get in our heavy sets and stuff. But very excited to use Thaddeus Moss, see if I can develop him into a monster. Our new right tackle, DJ Fluker, 1 year, $5.88 million, bringing it back, another ex-Seahawk. He was pretty much the only right tackle because I spent money on January that I could get. There was a really good right tackle, blanking on the name that was there. He's like an 86 overall or something. But I had nowhere near enough cap to go after him and go after Jaron Reed and all these other guys. So DJ Fluker there, he's going to be our starting right tackle this season. As you can see, I released Benson and Carlos and Jaron Reed. Moved Alton over to the left side. He'll probably start for me. I moved LJ over there too in case, I wanted to. Just move some players' positions around. And then we signed some backups here in the final stage. Got a backup right tackle, 1 year, $1.89 million. Backup free safety, 1 year, $1.15 million. And a backup left guard, 1 year, $1.27 million. So that is that for our offseason. I think I'm pretty happy about it. The only thing, which I'll get into right now, but before I do that, I want to tell you guys one quick change that's going to be happening to our league this year. We want to see an increase to injuries, so we're turning on practice squad injuries. Last year we had them off, and I believe in a separate league they were just simming games every once in a while and testing stuff to see what kind of injuries you would get in practice injuries, because I don't think they wanted like all these star players to have torn ACL, like all these crazy players getting hurt like insane amounts. But what they noticed is it's a lot of short-term injuries, which is great. That's what we want, more injuries, because I think last season I only had 2 players injured the whole time, which is just, if we're a realistic franchise, that does not happen in football. And so practice injuries will be on, so depth will matter a little bit more this year than it will in years past. So we'll see how it all plays out. But let's get into my squad here and show you guys all about all this stuff. Sorry, I'm watching the Cowboys Saints game right now on my iPad, and I was watching the play, and I just totally, oh shit, get out of there. People are gonna see my scouted players. What am I doing? I'm choking in the clutch right now, man. We're absolutely choking in the clutch. We'll go over free agency recap and show you guys all the studs that went everywhere, but I do want to show you guys my squadron. If I can, I don't know why that took me forever to figure that out, but one thing that I did choke a bit is next year we have some pretty big contracts coming up. One being DK, which I want to re-sign DK. Got to lock him in. So I did put Chris Carson and Bobby Wagner both on the trade block, but I did it I think when we were in free agency stage 3, which is a slight choke. I should not have done that. If I wanted to, I should have done it earlier, because by the time I put them on, everyone's already signed players. They've made a bunch of trades, so everyone's cap's all wonky. So I don't believe I'm going to be finding a trade partner for them, because I don't think Chris Carson is going to get re-signed. I love Chris Carson, but he'll be 28, I believe, after this next year. Yeah. And it's tough to re-sign him. A running back, running backs can be easily replaced, so it's really tough to sign him. Bobby, same thing. He's getting old, and if I'm being completely honest, I think I'm going to use him this year. And depending on what he's asking for, if he's asking for some crazy multi-year deal, I might just try to franchise tag him and trade him next offseason. So we'll see what Bobby, what happens with Bobby. Happy he's here. I'm happy Chris is here as well, but that's just an update for the future, because out of all the big names that we got to re-sign, DK is top priority, so we're going to get that one done before we figure out anyone else. But the offense, new center, and a new right tackle. This will be our starting offensive line going into week 1. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I think DJ's about the same as Brandon Shell, and Ben Jones might be slightly better than Posick. Here's his stats. Not too bad. I mean, all pretty much 80s, got really good awareness, so that's not too shabby there. And DJ Fluker, same thing, probably maybe slightly better than Brandon Shell. His strength's probably a little bit better, but he'll be on that right side. Thaddeus Moss will be our starting tight end. Here is his stats. He's a 66. Well, he's got the little boost, so he's actually a 64. But he's 24. He's super young, and the man's got 86 catching right now, 85 acceleration, 82 speed. He's got okay catching traffic and spec catch. I mean, even his blocking really isn't that bad. His impact's almost in the 70s. Run block's at 62. I mean, he's really not that bad. And if I went in and drafted a tight end and I got a 64 overall normal tight end with this speed and catch and 86 catching, I'd probably be pretty happy. You've got great traits too. You got the team player. You got possession catch, run up to catch, fight for yards. He covers for all hits. He keeps his feet in bounds. He's got a high motor. He's got a shitload of great traits. I was surprised no one bid on him. I think I was the only person to bid on him too, so I got him for the minimum I could have got him for, and I'm excited to use him, and hopefully he can break out for us, because Gerald Everett was so important for us. He had big time games, and I think Thaddeus Moss can do that and be a good, Gerald Everett replacement. Receivers staying the same: Tyler, DK, Eskridge in the slot. Running backs, quarterbacks, fullback, all staying the same. Might draft another running back just because we only got 2 there. Or maybe I signed, some scrub later on. I'm not too sure about that. We'll have to figure that one out. Defense is where it gets a little interesting. Linebacker core staying the same. Cody, Bobby, Jordan Brooks, all staying the same. Jamal staying our strong safety. With no Quandre Diggs, Marquise Blair will be our new free safety. He's young. He's 25 years old still. I'm very excited to use him. He's like a baby Quandre. I mean, good speed, amazing hit power. Quandre can hit too. His zone's not bad. It's at 74. Decent pursuit. I mean, I'm excited to see how he is, especially with that hit power. I mean, him and Jamal Adams are going to be absolutely smacking people. It's going to be insane. So hopefully he can, break out. We got a lot of young guys this year. Last year we had some vets all around, but this year we're getting a little bit younger, and there's a possibility to be even younger depending on if we hit on some players in the draft. They might be starting. So Marquise Blair, new free safety there. He played a little bit in last season in limited snaps, but first year for him to get a full start there. Defensive ends, Darrell Taylor. I'm not sure what side he's going to be on, to be honest. I don't even know. I think I want to start Alton over LJ. I'm still debating on that. But Jaron Reed and Poona Ford back in the middle, just like old Seahawks days. Jaron Reed back on the squadron. Darrell Taylor will be starting on some side of the line. I'm not sure yet. But here's Jaron Reed's stats. 81 overall. He's still 28, so even if he asks for like one more year, I might do it. 93 tackling, really good. Great awareness. Strength's not too bad, too. He'll probably start over Puna, for being honest. Not that I don't like Puna at all. Puna's a monster. But, come on. I got to start. This was the dynamic duo back in the day for the Seahawks, dude. So we got to roll it back, bring him back. And here's the very interesting one that you guys can weigh in as well. Here's the 3 players. I was leaning, maybe I start LJ in my base packages, and like my nickel and dime, I play Alton Robinson. Or do I start Rasheem Green in the base packages and my nickel and dime go Alton Robinson? I'm not too sure. Here, I'll show you guys all their stats, but one of them probably will start unless I draft like a god. I think LJ also is up for contract too coming up. He's not the fastest, so that's why if LJ does start, it would only be in my base, which I think I'm leaning towards that. He's a bigger dude. I'm pretty sure this guy weighs 291 pounds. So I'm leaning towards, I meant to go like this. LJ starting in base packages, and then in my, nickel and dime, we bring out Alton, who is more of the speed guy, more of just a pass rusher. As you can see, he's about 40 pounds, 30 to 40 pounds lighter. And, the speed's way much better. His finesse move's way much better. So, I believe that's what I'm going to do. But you guys can weigh your opinions. Let me know. Rasheem Green, I'll also show you his stats, too. He's the more bigger body as well. So, I could maybe roll him out there instead of LJ. But I think if I do anything, it's going to be LJ starting in the base, Alton Robinson out on the third down packages. Corners all staying the same. But I probably will be drafting a corner. We're just going to spoil it. I know some people from the league watch it, but hopefully they don't go ruining my plans. With my second-round pick, I'm hoping I can get a corner, and I'm throwing his ass out wide. I like DJ Reed in the slot. I like Sidney Jones as our number 1 corner, especially now that he's a star. He's going to be going up in dev a little bit more. Maybe I can get him to superstar this season. That would be great. But hopefully we can draft a good corner to throw out wide, because if we don't, either I'm going to have to throw maybe Trey Brown out there, I'm going to have to throw, or maybe DJ Reed just stays out wide and Ugo goes in the slot, or Bless Austin, maybe Bassan Austin, I think that's how you say his name, maybe he goes in the slot. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Obviously, I'm not just going to pick a corner at the second round if all of them are trash. We'll go somewhere else. But we'll really have to see how that draft plays out. I probably should do a test draft before we draft. I haven't done a test draft at all, so I'm not really sure what's gonna. I'm assuming it's somewhat the same as as it usually is. Michael Dixon, Jason Myers, still our punter and kicker, and that is that for the squad. Like I said, a little bit younger tight ends, a little bit younger on the defense. We got some old guys here, but next season, we will try our hardest to replace. Left tackle, center, and right tackle. I think our guards are situated for just a little bit, so don't have to worry about that. But hopefully next season we're going to have some big turnaround. Yeah, Dwayne Brown, look at him. He's at 84 now with the boost. So he's at 82 overall, which is great. He's almost about to go up overalls again. So excited. I'm happy I chose my boost on him. But that is that. Before we end the video, I'm going to show you guys who went where. We're just going to try to skim through a lot of the big signings. So league signings, we'll just go position by position. So the big quarterback that went in the free agency was Aaron Rodgers. Probably going to happen in real life unless the Packers go to the Super Bowl or something. But Aaron Rodgers could have chose a lot of teams, and he ended up going to the Indianapolis Colts. So the Colts traded a bunch of players, brought in some players, and now he is their new quarterback. Running backs, not really two big ones. There is some still running backs on the market, as you see here. Marlon Mack's there, Melvin Gordon, but some older guys that no one really wants to sign. Rashad Penny's still there, which is hilarious. Receivers, some good receivers hit the market. Devontae Adams being the best of them. He went to the Patriots for a very, very hefty deal. Will Fuller to the Chargers. Mike Williams to the Jets. Antonio Brown to the Browns. We'll skim some of these guys. You guys can look real quick. But those were the big ones there, especially being Devontae. When I saw Devontae there, I was like, dude. Receivers my deepest position on this team. But I would love to have me some Devontae Williams. Devontae Adams. Tight ends, there were some okay ones, but I ended up rolling with Thaddeus. Robert Tonyan stayed with the Packers. Gronk went to the 49ers. Gerald Everett went to the Vikings. Dalton Schultz to the Jets. Like I said, there were some decent guys I could have chosen, but went with the younger version. Teron Armstead went to the Steelers. Not the best center, guards, not really the best. There was a couple guards, but David DeCastro stayed with the Steelers. Richie Incognito to the Cardinals. Trent Brown, that's the right tackle I was trying to figure out earlier. He went to the Titans. Olivier Vernon and Sebastian Joseph Day went to the Eagles, and Vernon to the Jags. Sheldon Richardson to the Broncos. Ndamukong Suh to the Raiders. Linval Joseph to the Browns. Brandon Williams to the Panthers. There were some decent tackles to choose from. Jaron Reed was the guy. Maybe it's a Seahawks fan bias. I don't know that I went for. Outside linebacker Za'Darius Smith went to the Raiders. Lorenzo Carter also was on there, which I was, thinking about getting him, throwing it back from my Giants days. Lorenzo Carter was a solid little piece for us. So I was thinking about it, but I decided to pass. Za'Darius Smith was the big one there. Jadeveon Clowney, here he is to the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. Like this guy needs any more help. Seriously. Preston Smith to the Jags. Quan Alexander to the Bills. There were some okay corners there, but I decided, they were all old, and so I decided that I really wanted to just pass on them and go for, a cornerback replacement in the draft. So Marcus Peters went to the Browns. Casey Hayward to the Cardinals. Richard Sherman also to the Cardinals. Jason Verrett to the Colts. Bradley Roby to the Chargers. Trey Flowers actually did get signed. Good for Trey. Maybe he can succeed there. I don't know. He went to the Raiders. Rasul Douglas on the Packers. Jimmy Smith, the Baltimore Ravens. There was a couple other guys down here. Kevin King. A couple guys chose to want, like I said, to go through the draft. Devin McCourty to the Colts. The Colts had a crazy offseason. All these trades. Signed a lot of players, so the Colts got like a brand new team. Deshaun Elliott went to the Eagles. Quandre Diggs to the Jags. Good luck on your journey, Quandre. He actually only wanted 2 years, which is interesting. If I didn't have Marquise Blair, I might have been open to that, but I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even check on Quandre in the offseason because I had Marquise Blair. So, just didn't even check at all. But, Quandre, maybe he can beast out for him. Malik Hooker stays on the Cowboys. He's on the Cowboys in real life, I believe. Strong safeties, Jaquise, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but he went to the Bengals. Ronnie Harrison Jr. to the Patriots. Kickers, Robbie Gould, Vikings. Dustin Hopkins, Jets. Nothing really crazy there. Punters, nothing really crazy. J.K. Scott was up there. That's kind of cheeky, actually. To the Titans. Rigoberto, good old Giants punter. You love to see the Giants players. And that is that for the free agency recap. I believe this video will be getting posted on Friday. And so our draft is being held on Sunday night. So it's going to be a few days until we can get the draft video out. But I would guess maybe Monday morning is probably when the draft video will be out on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. Let me know how you guys think we did in the offseason. I wouldn't give myself like an A, but I think I'd give myself a strong grade. I would say like B-ish. We got our offensive line replacements, which what we needed. We needed a center. We needed a right tackle. We brought some vets in on one-year deals, so we're not, tied to them long-term. Bring them in for a season, and they can bounce. We got a young tight end that hopefully can pop. We got a defensive tackle that, is solid, so we'll see how that plays out. And we'll see if we can hit in the draft. This is the most important draft in all these leagues because it's the first one, so it's the longest I get to have time to build up these rookies. So hopefully we can hit. I'll go over my draft picks so you guys can just get refreshed real quick. I want to say I have 5 picks. I don't know why I went to Trade Center, but I guess we can look here. Don't matter. Let's go here. Draft picks. No first-round pick, which sucks, but we have a second-round pick, late second-round pick, late third-round pick. This, you might as well count as the third-round pick. It's like one of the first picks in the 4th round. Then a 4th round here, a 5th round, and a 7th round. Next year, we have all of our picks besides a 4th, I want to say. Oh, no, a 7th next year. But we do have an extra 5th. So next year, we actually have a 1st. Obviously, our 1st this year is to the Jets for Jamal Adams. So no 1st. But we still have a decent amount of picks. I mean, it's not like in real life Seahawks just last, the rookie class they just had where they only had 3 picks. We got a decent amount of picks. I mean, we got 4 picks in the fourth, the second, third, and fourth, 2 fourths. Maybe I can do something with the 5th. Probably not, but we'll see how this draft goes. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.